Hello, crafty friends. This is Vickie with VJ Designs, and I'm going to walk you through my March challenge journal that I just finished for Dearjuliejulie. You know, I do these just about every month, and this month I decided to use an actual book cover, and this particular cover kind of went with some of the colors in here. So I did my closure just a little bit different. I usually put my ribbon underneath what I have on top, but there's a little bit of a gap here with the way I cut out this ovals. And so I didn't want the ribbon to show underneath, so I just put it in the spine and then put this trim on top, and just having it on top this time. So, and I'm really getting low on this seam binding you get from my scrap cabin shop. So I need to do some ordering there. Okay, so this is my cover, and I put this trim around on 3 sides because the other side is going to be covered. And then last minute I just decided to put these book corners on the front. Kind of dresses it up a little bit. So this month we had certain things that we were supposed to do that were required, and certain themes for pages, ephemera, and tags. So anyway, on the inside, this is not a Dearjuliejulie digital. I use this digital, and I will put below who it's from. It's a beautiful digital. And then I also use Dearjulie's, one of her digitals called Blossom. And then the other one is from her freebies. She considers all of her freebies all together as one digital. So we can choose from all those. So on the inside of my cover, I had to reinforce the spine because it was cracking a little bit up here on top. So I ran masking tape around the spine a few times. And then I glued in this piece of fabric. So I think it's pretty secure. So I always like to put a pocket on the inside cover of my books. So this is the pocket that I have, and this is one of the tags that we were required to make. This is the marbled. We were to make a marbled page, marbled embellishment, and a marbled tag, and this is my marbled tag. The marbling is in the background. Mapping. And then I have a stamp and one of her digitals, and another faux stamp up here, which I believe is her digital also, for a tab. This is another page we were to make, which is the monogram or monochromatic page. This was kind of fun. So I chose to use all different greens and made it on this green ledger page. So this is my page. I've got a belly tuck spot here. I used a piece of ribbon. Metal is, there's 2 different lists. Well, there's one list that has all these different M things that start with M. So we were also supposed to include those in all of our stuff that we made. Metal was one of them. So staples, mounting, I mounted this life card on here. I just put a ticket back here for decoration and a sticker. So that is my monochromatic page. This was not one of the journal cards that we were required to make, but I needed to make a bunch of extras. Sorry if I'm out of screen. We needed to make a bunch of extras because I had a lot of pockets and text spots and things that I needed to fill. We weren't required to fill them, but I like to fill them. I don't like to leave a lot of empty places. So there's my journal card that I made, put in there. This is the embellishment I made for the monochromatic theme. It's a glycine bag and there's buttons. It was run through a button embossing folder. So that's mending. That was one of the other things we needed to use. There's metal. I stapled this on. And then I just fussy cut out this little flower. This is Dearjuliejulie. And these are stickers and drywall tape. Another sticker. And then this is the monochromatic tag that I made. This was out of a magazine. And linen, and I have a green butterfly, and I did staple that on, so there's metal there also. And then on the back I have to cover the staples. I don't always do that, but this time I did. That's a Dearjuliejulie digital, and so is this. And then this is out of a magazine. This word stylish. So that's the tag that goes in there. Okay, and this page was my music, I believe. Or map. I think this was the map. I have all these written. I just have to find it. Anyway, mesh was one of the things we could use. So there is mesh here. You can barely see it. And I have it under the scripture. I did inking. I put this little piece in here in the pocket. I've got washi tape, label. It's on music paper. This is my embellishment, I think. The pocket. This is out of a sticker book, and this is Dearjuliejulie digital. These are Dearjuliejulie digital page. It had another picture up here that I wanted to cover because it didn't stick with the theme of the book. So I just put another piece up here, covered that up, made a little text spot out of there. And I discovered that I have this yellow, it's like copy paper. I thought it was in with my yellow copy paper, and I pulled it out the other day, and I'm like, that is not, I mean, it was in with my cardstock, excuse me. It's copy paper weight, so that was perfect, I thought, to put in there. Okay. This isn't anything that we were required to make, but this is on this page that I took out of a notebook. And just made a pocket. I'm trying to think if this was I don't think this was required either. She's got all the things posted already in Facebook, what's what. But anyway, on this side I created a pocket. This was out of an old notebook, like a syllabus book. So I covered that part, that wording up there, with a label. And there was an upside down number here, so I just cut out the word create out of the same book and covered that. And I put some Dearjuliejulie paper behind to make a pocket. This was her digital, both of these, and I mounted it on a yellow card or yellow index card. Put a little music paper and a word. This was not one that I made that was required. That was an extra. This is so cute. I love this. I love this digital. Okay, and then this is out of a teacher's. You've seen me use this before several times. It's out of a old teacher's planning book. And now they probably do everything digitally, I'm imagining. And I realized that I had put it upside down, but that's okay. Here's one of those other digitals. And this paper is, I believe it's like sketch paper. It's kind of thin. This was one of my required pockets that I needed to make. So there's a piece out of a dictionary, the word song, and the Dearjuliejulie digital, sticker, medallion, inking, and this is a little, this I did make in the requirements, and I've got metal. And this was probably, I think this was my music tag. It's music paper, metal. I've got a linen tab, label, drywall tape, little teeny tiny Dearjuliejulie digital. It's a little envelope that folds down. I think I might have made it a pocket, but I glued it so that you could put something a little tiny tag behind there. So that goes in there. This is my music embellishment here. Okay, here's the middle of the signature. I've got 2 signatures in this book. And I did not put charms in this signature. They're in the next one. This page I had already done. I found it in my ephemera, and I thought the colors went really well. And I don't remember where I got this idea. I've had this for at least 2 years. But I thought it was so cute. You just make on one page, you put these 2 pockets. And you make a tuck spot, and then there's a little belly band to put a little no, that's not a belly band, it's a little pocket. Looks like a belly band there. So there's little pockets on there to put those little tiny tags. And then this is just something else I made extra to put down in here. Just folded a piece of this other digital and just put some things on it and just put it down in here like this. Now there is, you can put more tags and stuff in here. And this is the other part of that sketch paper. It's almost as thin as tracing paper. Okay, and lots of pages for writing. Okay, and this is our modern page that I did. I thought, oh, modern math, and math is another thing that we were supposed to use, and money. So on this one, I've got several of the required elements. I've got math, metal, money, and this is the tag I did for it. And we were all supposed to do makeup, which on this one, the only thing I could think of was an eyebrow pencil that I had, and I made some, like, and they're not straight. Sorry, I tried to use a little ruler, but even a ruler doesn't work that great for me. But I tried to make those little lines that you would see, you know, in those strips that you like these. Anyway, that's what I did with makeup. And then again, I used the element the element table to make this word, pray. And this is the Dearjuliejulie digital, the words pray at all times. And then I put this half circle on here and a label underneath. So it's got a lot going on too. And I did not cover up the metal on these. And there's an index card also on the back. So the embellishment is this pocket. I didn't do a lot to it, but this is a tuck spot right here. You could put in another little something down in here, and this is another, like a modern math idea. So I just made a tuck spot out of it. I think I downloaded this. I downloaded all of these math were free images off of Pinterest. I keep wanting to call it Etsy, and it wasn't. It was Pinterest I got these from. And there's the Dearjuliejulie digital. And on this side, I just put this image down, kind of tucked it down in the pocket, so that's the other side of the page. And there's the element table word. Again, it's flora. And there's metal. There's Dearjuliejulie digital here. And then I've got drywall tape. Okay. And this is just another pocket I made on here. This was not a required one, but this is one of her digitals I made a little journaling card out of. Put in there. And this is that other side of that page that I wanted to cover up the image up here. I think it was like teacups or teapots or something, and that's totally not the theme of this. So here's another journaling card I made. This is out of a little notebook I found at this place that was closing out, and the shape of the cover is like this, and then all the papers in it are like this. They're full. So I just cut it in half and mounted it on here with a sticker. Did some inking. So that goes in there. This is another page that we needed to do. And it's got mending, measure, music. And this is the Dearjuliejulie digital, and it's matted on this blue paper, and then this is mounted on this page. And I've got a scripture down here out of the daily guidepost. And then I put this trim up on one side, and I put these little flowers here, so I thought that was pretty cute. There's this little tiny half flat back pearl right here where the little loop is on the sewing machine. So I thought that was pretty cute. And then this is the tag I made for it. It's got the drywall tape, the trim Dearjuliejulie digital. In the background, I took this, kind of what I like to do this sometimes, even with the brown paper you get from Amazon. You take it, you crinkle it up really tight, and then you kind of flatten it out, and it's all crinkly, and then you run your ink over the top of it, and it hits the high points in the paper and makes this really interesting background. So I did that there, and I've got washi tape, and then I put this ribbon up here for a tab, and it's got metal staples, metal bulb pen, and a little metal charm. And it's on a index card. Okay, now we're getting into the second signature. Like I said, lots of papers, lots of pages to write on. Okay, this one was my measure theme page. This is the page. So I've got, what I did was I took a copy of stuck my measuring tape, you know, those fabric ones, certain fabric or whatever you call them. I put that across my copier and took a copy of it. It was kind of yellow, and it turned out this color, which I thought was pretty cool. So I used that for my measure. I put it down the whole side of this page. This is Dearjuliejulie digital, and this is also her digital. I cut out the flowers. I think this is her digital. Cut out flowers. I put stickles in the middle of the flowers. Down here I used drywall tape. I punched out of music a heart, and then I stapled it on with metal staples. Okay, so that's the page. And then this is the embellishment. I've got the pocket with the measuring tape, the music heart, the metal staples, the faux postage stamp, drywall tape, the measuring tape, and then I've got 3 of those enamel dots on here. And then this is the measuring tag that I did. This is the Dearjuliejulie digital. This is also her digital, Rejoice Always, 1 Thessalonians 5:16. I've got a piece of ribbon here that says Laugh, the drywall tape, the music paper, and the metal staples. And I did cover those in the back. And it's, of course, mounted on an index card. So all that went together. This was kind of fun. This is a mosaic page we were supposed to do. I don't think mine turned out as cool as Julie's did, but I think it's pretty cute. And I took her digital and ripped around. First I ripped around the image, and then I ripped the pieces, and I had to kind of keep them together when I put them down next to me so I could put them in order. It was easier to do that. So you just leave a little gap, and then it looks like a mosaic. First time really that I'd ever done this, so I thought it was kind of fun. Had a little bit too big of a gap here, but that's okay. I've got drywall tape up here and a flower, and I put a label here, and these words I took out of a Tim Holtz book, and I had to figure out. It was the one with words, I think. And there wasn't, I don't know, I couldn't find a phrase that was like complete. So I cut out the word about and the, and I think I trimmed off a letter to make the word the destination. It's not really about the destination, it's about the journey, but you know. And then this is an actual postage stamp that I took off of an envelope, And I ripped around it and inked and mounted it on a Dearjuliejulie digital. So that's my mosaic page. And on the back of this music paper, I just mounted one of these. This is a whole one of those pieces I was telling you about. It's so cute. Looks like a little flower. And okay, and this page was minimal page. And so mugshot was one thing we needed to use, not necessarily on this, but I did use it on this page. This is the Dearjuliejulie digital here. This came out of a devotional book, this scripture. And then I mounted this mugshot of this little girl. She's so adorable. And she's got a little tiny miniature pony, miniature horse. And then I have just a piece of music paper up here and a label. And that's pretty minimal, what I usually do. I mean, I usually don't decorate tons and tons, but anyway, that's as minimal as I could get. Then I also made this magnetic over the page bookmark. So I put it on here too. We had to use magnet. This is the only place I used magnet. Was here. They're small magnets, so that if you can't put them on anything really, you know, thick, or they won't stick. So I just put this down in here. Okay, and this is my, you had to do a movable page. So I took a map. There's one of the M's we used. I made a belly band with a movable postage stamp with an airplane on it. So you can move that. It's got washi tape, drywall. There's the Dearjuliejulie digital. And then this is the tag that I made. And I cut out a picture of a world that was on something and put a metal brad in here, so you can move the world. It turns. As the world turns, we've got the word fun, which is Dearjuliejulie. This is off of a stamp, washi tape that I have. This is also washi tape. And then I made this tab up here, and I covered the back so the brad wouldn't show. I covered it with the index card. So I thought that turned out pretty cute. So that just fits down in there like that. This is the other side. I have a pocket. So this particular page or tag was my minimal tag. Okay, so I just have the music paper. It's mounted on an index card. This is Dearjuliejulie digital, this little square that I made for the tab. I can't remember where I got this from. It was probably laying on my desk, so I just put that on there. This I cut out of a magazine, this flower. And this scripture I got out of a devotional. The Lord is good to all. He has compassion on all he has made. Psalm 145:9. So that's my minimal tag. And here's the center of the second signature. And these are the charms that I put in here. There's butterfly and dragonfly. I love these dragonflies. They're so cute. I look for, I don't know about you, but I look for sales at Michael's when they have like 40 or 50% sales on these items, and then I grab a bunch. This one just folds out so you can write on it more. This is another journaling card I made last minute just to fill some of the pockets, so it was not one of my required, but I did use the last piece of the measuring tape that I had put on there. This one I just folded over so you could fold it out, write on it. This is my mosaic embellishment, which is a pocket. There's the Dearjuliejulie digital. Well, all these are. This is also. And this was her digital also. And what I did was I took this piece, cut it into strips, cut the strips this way, and then I mounted them on a piece of white cardstock with a little space in between so it looked like they were mosaic. So I took her mosaic and made another mosaic out of it. That was kind of fun because I love the angles of this. And then I put one of her digitals on the side of the page for a tab. I think it was for this page, but. And then this is my mosaic tag. Again, I I tore around this image and then tore pieces, put them together like a mosaic. And I've got this linen up here for a tab. I've got the metal, staples, drywall tape, inking, and it's mounted on index card. Okay, and this, I believe, was my marbled page. I have a belly band on here that's marbleized. I did this on, I think it's watercolor paper, so it's a little thicker and it has some texture to it. So I did the marbling and then I stamped on it. I have this cute little stamp. I think I got it at the dollar store or something. And a lot of times some of those stamps don't work very well, but this one's kind of cute, and it's got all these music notes and staffs and stuff like that. This says make your own kind of music. So I have stamping, I've got marbling, I've got inking. There's a scripture up here out of the devotional book. I've got a tab here with Dearjuliejulie digital. And this is my embellishment that I made. But I don't think it was for the marbling. This one was for the music, I think, because I have music on the front. I've got Tim Holtz, Adventure Awaits You. This is Dearjuliejulie. It's digital, and I just folded it and inked it up. And I did ink this over here on this page. And then I have a metal cross. Little paper clip goes on there. Somebody sent me a bunch of these paper clips. I can't remember who it was, but thank you. Whoever sent them to me, they're really cute. And so I used that in this belly band here. Very cute. Okay, and here's my movement embellishment. I put this little bird charm on here with a string, and he can move up and down. So somebody said, as the crow flies. So, yeah, so that's movement. I've got map, inking, meaning. I've got dictionary page back here. I've got washi tape, canceled stamp. I think this is the Dearjuliejulie digital right here. Okay, and then this is my marbling embellishment. It's a journal card made on the marbled paper. I've got washi tape, Dearjuliejulie digital, drywall tape, and meaning back here, which means something out of, mine are actually from a thesaurus, not a dictionary, but kind of the same. Anyway, so that's in there. And I also put this one in here. This was my monogram. We had to make a monogram page, and I will get to that. But this was the embellishment I made for it. I had this little card that had W on it. So I guess it's a W. It looked better as a W than an M, so I'm using it as a W. But it's got that textured paper behind. Dearjuliejulie digital. It's a music paper, and I reinforced the hole I made with this little tiny flower punch out. I put one on both sides. There's the metal bulb pen, and I've got Dearjuliejulie beads here that I made also, and washi tape and a little wooden butterfly, and inking, and I mounted it on or it's on a blue index card. So I thought this kind of looked cute down in here. I mean, it could go somewhere else, I guess, but for now, I've got it in here. This is my marbled page. I think I said this one back here was my marbling page, but I don't think so. This might have been the embellishment. But anyway, this is my marble page. So here's the marbled paper behind. Music, I've got trim. I've got stamping here. And I've got this piece of ribbon that says love. And this is the Dearjuliejulie digital, the scripture that I cut apart and mounted on here. Okay, so here we go. This is my monogram page. So I just took a digital or a stencil that I had with these letters and used my, what did I use for these? Trying to remember. I'm pretty sure I used the Tim Holtz ink, and I kind of masked off the other letters so I wouldn't get them on there. And then I used the blue and this gold color and this green color. And then these flowers that I had, I put 3 of them together, and I put one of these glimmery enamel dots in the center. This is Dearjuliejulie digital, and so is this, and this word is her digital also, but this is on the embellishment. So this is the one on the page, and these initials were my mother's. And then on the embellishment, I made a pocket with the Dearjuliejulie digital, and I had cut out a heart out of it, so I just used that whole thing. I used drywall tape. This is Dearjuliejulie. This is Dearjuliejulie. I've got metal. inking. And then here are the initials for my dad, LWV. And then I have a trim all along the edge of the page. And I just put this little let's see, did I make this? Yes, I made this a belly band, so I put this in here. And then up here, I just took a piece of Julie's paper that I had. I cut off, stuck it down in here for writing. And then took a life journal card, project life card, and covered the center. It was like red, a red empty label on both sides, and I just covered it with that so you could write on it. That goes more with the colors, color theme. So there's that. And I think we're getting to the end here. Here I made a double tuck with just a piece of paper instead of an envelope. So I took a piece of this digital, brought it over here, I doubled it up so it would be a little stronger, and then mounted it on here like an envelope. So that, you know how we do those double tucks. We have a little tuck here and a little tuck here. So I made these little tags to go in there. And here we are at the back cover. And there's my pocket that I put on, and then I made this big tag to go in it. Okay. So there is my journal. It's finished. This is my March Dearjuliejulie Challenge journal. So I hope you like that, and just please let me know what you think. Press the like buttons, and leave me a comment. I'd like to know what you think of that. And thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for your support. Thank you for watching. And I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful day. All right, talk to you later.